Alright guys, today it's kind of a vlog, another vlog. I've done a couple on my phone, but yeah. Here I have one of our quads, a Honda 450 Rancher AT. My cousin, I'll show you in a little bit, we have a pond, and what happened was, he lives in Cali, and he has never rode like any quads, dirt bikes, or none of that. So we have two other quads that are sport quads, like a Honda 300EX and a 400EX. So I was riding the 300, my brother was riding the 400, and my cousin's riding this. So it is all open. He was riding. We couldn't go into the back since we were shooting guns. My dad and people were shooting guns in the back, and we couldn't go behind them since if one of them bullets skipped, it would have hit us. So we were riding in the front yard where our pond is, and it's kind of hard to steer this thing. When you're on it, it's hard to steer it. So he was going between the pond and the tree. Since I called my brother over, I was telling him, hey, I'm stopping to make sure I have gas. So I took my lid off and I checked. Right before I was about to take off, my cousin came running up behind me and my brother, and he's hollering, and I couldn't make it out, and he's pointing behind him, and I didn't see his clothes were wet at first, and then I noticed it, and he pointed at the pond, and that's when I put it all together that, hey, my cousin just drove one of a $7 grand quad into our pond. So I freaked out. I rode up from my barn down there all the way up to there, and I was hollering saying that my cousin just crashed their quad. They all came down there. My mom bailed into the pond, our pond, and got this out. It was over backwards. Like, our pond had a dip, so this quad was upside down in the water. So you could see the front tires up. And if it wasn't for these tires, this thing would have sunk, since it was floating out there. So we got it back. It was on a Saturday, last Saturday. We're like a couple days ago, Saturday. It happened. That night I spent like 2 nights at my aunt's with my brother. And we stayed over there for a little bit, for a couple days. So my dad got this quad back up, did some diagnostics. How he did it is we have to get a new oil filter. Oh, that's scratched. We have to get a new oil filter. We got one, but it's too small, so it wouldn't fit. We had to do the oil. I was helping my dad with the oil last night. Some of it spilled when we were trying to do something, but we were doing it. And you have to run the oil through it 3, 4, 5 times maybe through the engine, fill it, run it a little bit, get the oil hot, and pour it. So we did that, poured it. It was milk white. We did all that. Then my dad took out the spark plug right over here. He took out that plug. So much water came out of that, it was like a water fountain just pouring down. That's how much water was in there. The air box was loaded with water. It's a long box, it's bigger than my hand deep. And had to drain all that, get all that water out, probably pay for a new air filter. The place that we bought it at, it's a 2013 quad. We've had it for a couple years, and we're doing that. So, gotta have to go to the shop and get this thing fixed and get the diagnostics. Since on this screen, it shows your stuff, right here, it shows the gear indicator, it shows your mileage, and then it shows your speed. And it shows all that. And the electronics are screwed up. They have to be. My dad ran it last night, and these electronics would come on, and they would stay on for a little bit, and then they completely cut out. This is what you would see. You would see a blank screen. Nothing. But yeah. And also, man, talking too fast here. Well, my cousin got it into the pond. He did it sideways, or straight, since the handlebars jerked to the side. And he went straight into the water, and he bailed off over the handlebars into the water. Didn't even go under. He just doggy paddled back to the surface and came running up to us. And when he did, he went forwards into the pond and he pushed our winch back behind where it's supposed to go. So, since I'm too close to that, you can see, not that well, but you can see it's pinched. And you can't pull that out, so the most we're probably gonna have to do is pay for a new winch. It's insured, so I will give you an update if we get a new quad or something. And also, before I leave this out, I am gonna be doing a little bit later whatever it's called, a stream on PS4. So get ready for that. That's gonna be after this video goes up. So yeah, the oil. So it's just been a crazy week. Stuff has happened, and yeah. But here, let me try to step on it and show you. So it's gonna be hard to do this first person with no shoes on and this metal. Ow! So how my cousin described it to me is he was riding, and right over here was a tree, and down this way was the pond. So he's young. He's like 8, 9, and he doesn't have that much oomph in steering. I've been riding quads for a few years now, so I'm good on them. And he couldn't turn, so like it was a downhill slope, so he could turn right, but not left. So he went down too far to the right and couldn't get himself out of it and just bailed into the pond, jumped off it, the front end dug in and flipped over, and I'm seeing the front wheels up out of the water, and we had to flip it. Water came out of the exhaust, I'll show you that in a minute. And then when I was sitting on it to steer it out of the pond when we were pulling it, the key was turned and the electronics were just flashing. And yeah. So the two main problems at this point are practically the winch and the electronics. Everything else is fine. The batteries work, like the winch. See? Oh, it does work without it. Ah, sweet. But yeah, the battery might be screwed up. Since it happened on a Saturday, and the winch would work just perfect, and everything was handy-dandy fine. But, yeah. Now it's screwed up. Half the battery ain't working. The electronics are screwing up. But, yeah. But when my dad pulled this out, the back end came down, and it still was floating, and it rode back. When my dad set this down, water came out. Now, it ain't good in there. Oh, you maybe can see it in there. There's a dip. How you see that piece in there, that star-looking piece, if you can. Make sure my screen's clear. If you can see that star piece, underneath that, there's a little gap between that and where the end of this pipe is, and it's empty. So I think there's still water stuck in there, and we need to lift this back and have the water all the way out of it. Since when we start it, you can see like white smoke is coming out. Like I'll rev it a little bit and some white smoke will come out. When I rev it, smoke comes out, and then after I'm done revving it for a little bit, smoke comes out of the pipes. So, yeah. But yeah, fuel injected, Rancher AT, yeah, Honda, yeah. So I can say it's been a crazy week, crazy couple of days, but yeah, I'm going to leave this off on a good note. I will let you know what else needs to happen. Like, I won't get into too many details and personal, but I will let you know on how that end goes. So yeah, what has to happen. I think when my cousin flipped it, I don't know what it is right there. That was not like that before. I don't know if that's feet prints or what, but you can't see it that well. Focus. I don't know. You can see it right there, like dead ahead above this cap. You can see it. It's a scrape mark. It's all across the whole engine, so I don't know if stuff's been worked on and tools have hit it, or if it's from my cousin's feet hitting it when he was bailing off. But yeah. Now, I'm going to try, super fast before this ends, I'm going to try to show you where it was. Since if you go down to my pond, the weeds are still screwed up. Like, I'll try to go down to that area and show you what happened. So, you have to see the grass for a couple minutes since I'm going to be walking and there's really nothing I want to show. So I'll let you know how it goes real fast. So let me just book it. Sorry. Whew. Wait to see something here. Ow, ow, ow. Okay. Let me quickly just go over. And, sorry, this is super shaky. But look, right here, guys. So my cousin was in the middle. And either it was hit the tree and dented up, or go to the left. Go to the right. And it went down too far where he couldn't back himself out of it. And he drove right there. There's the tire entry. It sucks, but you can see that there's holes, and I think the tires dug into that. But he's bailed right into it. See the slide marks. So yeah, I'm going to end it off here, guys. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. See ya.